Insert video here. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, which you probably are considering I have like, what, 25 subscribers? My name is Ben, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than what I normally do, because usually I'm sitting at this computer playing video games, which today I will be doing later, but not right now, because I became an Australian citizen. Yay! Which has been a long time in the making. So this, I think, happened, what's the time? Hang on, give me a sec, what's the time? This happened about 4 hours ago now, is when I officially became Australian. So with the citizenship ceremony, usually you're supposed to have it in a physical place. So we were going to have it in Melbourne Town Hall, but due to coronavirus, I had mine through a video conferencing service. I'll just be going through that. You can see it later. I've recorded it. I recorded it all because, you know, citizenship is like a really big deal. Like, it's something I've been looking forward to for a while now. So you may be asking, why do you want to be an Australian citizen as opposed to a permanent resident who just stays in Australia indefinitely? And there are a few reasons for that. So one being, I didn't want to renew my permanent residency every 5 years. I mean, it's not that big of a hassle being once every 5 years, but it's still annoying, and I have to keep track of when I became a permanent resident and when the last time my visa was renewed and things like that, and I don't really want to do that. And then another one is because if I lose my job and I'm a permanent resident, I don't get benefits like unemployment benefits, which I've never needed in the past. It's fine, but I'm very lucky at the moment to be employed, and with the amount of people who have lost their jobs due to the coronavirus, like, I feel very fortunate to have my job, but it would be nice to have that security blanket. You also get the right to vote. I guess it's not the right to vote as it is more you're forced to vote. To me, this isn't too big of an issue because my main problems with Australia at the moment is just the infrastructure internet-wise. If you live in Australia, you probably know, like, the internet here ain't great. It's kind of very shitty. So I would probably just vote, like, don't at me, don't, you know, oh, Ben, there's so many more political things you could vote based on. I'm like, yeah, I know that. But for me, an important one is internet. Like, it's such an important aspect of everyone's life nowadays. Like, businesses need it, banking, I need it just to play my video games or to contact my family back home. You know, to do my job, I'm working remotely at the moment. There's so many different reasons, like, you need a good internet structure, like why can I not speak? There are so many reasons why you need a good internet infrastructure. And unfortunately, Australia just hasn't had that for a long time. But, you know, they're getting better or worse, depending, you know, that's my political stuff. I don't know why I'm talking about that, because this is not about that. You get the right to vote. The main reason why I want citizenship is because I don't know if I can continue staying here forever. Like, I might need to go back to the UK, or I might need to go back to Taiwan to take care of my parents, or for whatever reason. Like, my family might need my help. If I leave Australia and I'm a permanent resident and I leave for too long, like 2 years, I can't come back. Like, I would need to reapply to be a resident again and go through the whole process again. And then it's just very difficult. And I don't know if that's, like, that would be worth, like, I may as well apply to be a citizen while I can. Like, I'm eligible. I feel like I contribute to the society here. I have a life here, and, like, I have friends, and I've been here for the majority of my life. So I don't really want to lose that permanently if I, for some reason, have to leave the country. I guess to start off with, I'll give a bit more background about myself. So I'm from Hong Kong originally, which is where I was born, and I'm half English, half Taiwanese. And when I was 11 years old, we moved to Oxford in England. And then on from that, when I was 15, we moved to Kaohsiung, Taiwan. And then I graduated high school when I was 17, so I took a gap year, did some work, did some studying at a local university in Taiwan, and then moved here when I was 18, 10 years ago, to Brisbane in Australia. And then I lived there for 6 years, six and a half years, yeah. And then I've been in Melbourne now for like 3.5 years. So you can see like the majority of my life has been in Hong Kong / Australia. And those first few years in Hong Kong don't really count because I can't remember anything. Well, I can remember a lot, but not from when you're like 1 or 2 or 0. Like, you don't remember anything. So I guess I kind of feel like I have a strong connection to Australia, even though I give it a lot of shit a lot of the time. I became an Australian citizen by what they call conferral, which means essentially that I became eligible and then had to take a test to become a citizen, essentially. So I met a certain specific set of requirements, and then I had to pass a test. And that's what citizenship by conferral means, I think. Someone tell me if I'm wrong, because that's what I thought it meant. And if it's not, I would like to know. So the requirements for being eligible to apply for Australian citizenship are you must have a current permanent residency to Australia or be an eligible New Zealand citizen. You must have had that permanent residency for at least 1 year, and you must have been in Australia for at least 4 years on a valid visa. After that, you then have to pass a citizenship test that tests your knowledge of like Australia, its beliefs, the politics here, the laws, the government, things like that. And then you have to have an English language test, though you do automatically pass the English language test if you get a 75% or more, which is the passing mark on the citizenship exam. Other than that, I think you also need to have like a close tie to Australia. Like you have to work here, you have to have a partner here, a family here, property here, I think is another one that you can have. And then you have to not have committed a crime in like the past 2 years or something like that, which I have not, so yay me, not committing crimes, woo. So for me, I've been in Australia for about 10 years now, and I've been a permanent resident for over 3 years. So I've been eligible for at least 2 years now. However, like I said before, like I wasn't too sure on why I wanted to become an Australian citizen. But I did end up making the decision too. So I applied for citizenship when? When did I apply? July 2018, so I applied 23 months ago. So if you're thinking about becoming an Australian citizen, you might want to do it sooner rather than later, because it takes almost 2 years to get it after you've applied. Wow. Has it been 2 years? Oof, I feel old. Yeah, so after I applied, I took my citizenship exam in August last year, so August 2019, so that was 13 months. It took over a year for them to review my application and get back to me, and like anything, like that's the only thing I heard about my application, is that, hey, come in for your interview and your test, 13 months after I applied. So I took the test, and the passing score for the test is 75%. I got 100% in under 2 minutes. And they give you 45 minutes to take this test. Humble brag. No, it's actually a very easy test. It's 20 multiple choice tests. It's not 20 multiple choice tests. Oh my god, what? It's 20 multiple choice questions. However, each question has 3 answers, not 4. So your general multiple choice question will have like 4 answers. This one has 3. And it's very easy. But I did sort of become really paranoid that I was going to fail. So like the night before, I took like 30 practice quizzes just in case. I probably can't even remember anymore. This was almost like 8-9 months ago that I took this test. Can I count? Yeah, it's been like a while since I've taken this test. So I can't even remember like the answers to some of the questions they would ask me anymore, which is kind of bad. So the test is about like the different parts of the government, which part controls like the laws, which part controls. And you know, I'm not very politically inclined, so I don't know any of that. I did when I took the test because I scored 100% and they definitely asked me about stuff like that. But it's sort of all just gone out of my head because I haven't had to vote ever in my life. I've never been able to vote in Australia. I don't live in the UK, so I don't feel like I should have the right to vote there. I lived there for like 4 years when I was like a teenager. So after I finished the test, they tell you you passed, like they give you your score straight away. They give you a letter that says congratulations on passing your test. Like your city council or wherever you live will be in touch to give you a date for your citizenship ceremony. So I waited from August till February, they told me. Was it February? It could have been the beginning of March. They told me that I was going to have my citizenship ceremony on the 18th of March. So I applied for a day off from work to go to the ceremony. And then on the 17th of March, I was told that it was cancelled because lockdown effects for coronavirus went into effect on the 18th of March. So that is why it's now May and I am a citizen, because it took that extra 2 months just due to the coronavirus. Like, it makes sense. Like, I'm not mad about it. I don't feel like anyone should be mad about that. Sure, it's a tiny bit of an inconvenience, but it's not like I can go traveling anymore at the moment anyway. Like, I'm not allowed to leave the country. I'm not allowed to go back to my home country. Like, it's not a big deal. About a week ago, I was contacted by the Melbourne City Council and they said, hey, we have a spot for you at 2:15 on the 14th of May if you want to do it online. Like, you do get the choice to wait until it's all done, like all the coronavirus stuff is finished. But I thought, why wait? Like, I don't mind. I don't need to go to the town hall to have the whole citizenship ceremony with like hundreds of other people. I'm fine to just have like a online chat about it and do it that way. I opted to just have it now because, you know, why not? I've been waiting 10 years. I don't really want to wait much longer. Like, I sort of want to go back home when, like, go visit my family when traveling restrictions are lifted. I haven't seen them in a while, so it'd be good. Yeah, so why not? Why not do it now? I can get my passport sorted, things like that. Earlier today, I had the meeting. It lasted about 7.5 minutes. I got all dressed up, put on a really nice button-up shirt, and I was wearing my pink shorts, but they can't see that, so it's fine. So I had my ceremony with the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, Sally Capp, as well as 2 members of the Melbourne City Council, Nate and Jean-Francois. And I guess here it is. Here is the ceremony and my stupid face twice, because I think, I don't know, when I edit this, I'm gonna put like my face here and my face here. Like, they're gonna go somewhere. You'll see, you'll see. Hello.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And yourself?
Very well too, thank you. My name's Sally Capp. I'm the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, and I'm your presiding officer today.
Excellent.
Good. We also have Nate, who you spoke to.
Hi, Nate. I'm well, thanks.
I'm Francois.
Hi, Francois.
And, who is our specialist on citizenship ceremonies. Now, we need to verify your identification and then we can get on with the fun bit.
Yeah.
So can you tell us your full name, please, then? Lovely. And your residential address? Beautiful. Is that your postal address?
Yes.
Good. And what is your date of birth? Lovely. Now we need some photo ID from you. What have you got for us?
British passport, okay?
British passport. Great.
Thank you, Ben.
Good. And try and reading that passport number out for us, please.
We get that one more time, okay, please.
Oh, need to slow down for us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2.
Thank you.
Good. We're a bit slow. We appreciate that. Well, we've verified that you are a real person and your name is Ben Fletcher and that you are eligible to become an Australian citizen today.
Excellent.
We are delighted to welcome you virtually to Town Hall. It's a very important occasion, and we know that you're not here for the normal ceremony and all the hoo-ha, but we wanted to really signify our respect for the decision that you're making by bringing the Queen along, the crest of the Commonwealth, our national and city flags, and I'm in full robes, Ben. All the bling happening here, and I'm only allowed to wear this for special occasions. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, we recognise that Australian citizenship is a common bond that unites us all, from our Aboriginal Australians who are the longest continuous living culture in the world, to descendants of early settlers who came almost 300 years ago, to the waves of migrants that have come in the past few decades. We all combine into the multicultural melting pot that is the secret of Australia's success. We appreciate that you are bringing your unique personal talents and experiences together with all of the lovely influences and traditions that come from your cultural background. In the City of Melbourne, we have one of the most multicultural communities in Australia, but we work really hard still to make sure we all operate as one Melbourne. The citizenship is formal entry into the community of the Commonwealth of Australia, and it involves certain rights and obligations. I'm going to go through them with you now before you take the oath to make sure that you understand and acknowledge that you're happy to do that.
Yeah.
So you're going to be pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, saying that you share our democratic beliefs, agreeing to respect the rights and liberties of all Australians, and you're going to uphold and obey the laws of Australia. You're okay with all of those?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Good, all right. Now, Ben, would you like to do with God or without God?
Probably without God.
Good, all right. Well, here we go.
Do I just say it, or do you say it and I follow along?
Repeat after me. From this time forward,
From this time forward,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose laws I will uphold and obey.
whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Woo! You are an Australian citizen. It's official. Congratulations.
Excellent, thank you.
Now, Ben, I've got to say a few other things. Firstly, that Australian citizenship is much more than a legal status. We really encourage everybody to understand the way that our society operates, the democratic principles that underlie it in the way that we form and the way we expect our governments to run, and how we as responsible citizens can be fully participating in the way that we shape our country. Most importantly, we do that through voting.
Yeah.
Not just a right in our democracy, it's also an obligation. And so we encourage you, in fact, you must vote in federal, state and local government elections. And it really is the sort of uppermost way of giving your voice into how we want to shape our future. Now that you're an Australian citizen, we can let the Department of Home Affairs know.
Yeah.
They will send you a citizenship certificate. If you haven't received it in about 3 weeks, let them know and they'll chase it up for you.
Okay.
We also let the Australian Electoral Commission know, and they put you on the voters roll and they'll write to you about that.
Yeah.
We also let our federal and state MPs know, and I'm sure you'll hear from them because they'll want to say congratulations as well. And really, that is the end of it, apart from saying on behalf of all of us here and on behalf of Australia, thank you for making a deliberate decision to become an Australian citizen. And we're grateful to you for the commitment that you're making and the contribution that you make to our community. Well done, Ben.
Thank you.
We're very excited here and I hope you get to celebrate.
Yeah, eventually when all of this is over.
Yeah,
Not too many beers, all right?
not too many beers. It's okay.
We'll see what my workplace says about that. They tend to have quite a few.
Yeah, you've probably got to jump on a Zoom or something now.
Yeah,
Glad you could fit us in today, and again, congratulations.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Right.
So I guess there you have it. This is how the online citizenship ceremony works for, at least for Melbourne, the city of Melbourne. I hope you found it interesting. It's just, I guess it's such a big deal for me becoming an Australian that I decided to do this. Plus, I guess I didn't get to go to the actual physical ceremony where someone, like my friends or something, would come and be my guest and record me getting like the certificate in person. So yeah, that's probably why I'm doing this. I should receive my actual certificate in 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully it does come, otherwise I'll have to be on the phone to Home Affairs to make sure that I end up getting that, because I do need it, I think, to prove I'm a citizen. If I want to apply for like a passport or something, which I do want to do, then I can have 3 passports and a permanent residency card. Anyway, what am I going on about? Hopefully you found this video interesting. If for any reason you want to follow me on social media, you can find my Instagram here, there. It's mostly crap and my photography, I suppose. But if I do hope that someone found this interesting or informational, or anything just entertaining. I don't know, whatever. Okay, this is a bit rambly, so bye. How do people do exit things? Goodbye. Bye.